Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another installment of Community Chats. My name is Anthony Siracusa, the Director of Community Engagement at the University of Mississippi, and we are delighted to welcome you here on Friday, May 29th. I am joined, as I am typically, by my colleagues, Jody Holland from Loft and Aaron Peiser-Oath, our Project Manager in Community Engagement. And as you know, these are regular conversations on Community Chats with individuals who are working hard to make a difference, a positive difference in our region. We come to you every Wednesday and Friday at 12 noon until about 12:30. And the goal here is to allow community leaders to tell their own stories in their own voice. How did they come to be involved in the work that they do here? What is that work and what are their visions for the future? If you'd like to be interviewed on the show or you know somebody we should interview, we want to hear from you. Send us a direct message on Facebook, or you can reach out on email at engaged@oldmiss.edu. I always want to acknowledge that this is a joint initiative with our partners at Loft, Lafayette Oxford Foundation for Tomorrow. They have recently been busy at work making awards to nonprofits across the region. So their work is really essential to the vitality of the nonprofit sector in the Lafayette Oxford University community. Today, we have the privilege and the honor of being joined by Ms. Donna Howard from the Holding Hands Thrift Shop. Donna, we are so delighted to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, let's just jump right into it and have you get us started by sharing a little bit about where you grew up and what brought you to the Lafayette Oxford community.
Well, I was born in Memphis and lived there for about 12 years, and my parents are from Lafayette and Calhoun County, so they decided we would move back home. And I've lived here most of my life since then. And just, Oxford is home.
Great, thank you.
It is for so many of us. Well, Donna, how did you land this position that you're working in right now? How did you get to where you are today? Tell the audience that.
Okay, well, in 1990, my daughter was 14 years old, and she came to me and told me that she was hearing voices and having hallucinations. And that started our journey. It took us a year to get a diagnosis, but she was diagnosed with chronic paranoid schizophrenia. We managed and got by, and she worked, had a job at a local grocery store here in town after, let me say, after about 15 years of her illness. She was better. And so she hated working at the grocery store. The employees didn't understand her. They weren't always kind to her. So she kept saying, "Mama, get me another job. Mama, get me another job." I even at one point paid a fitness center here in town to let her clean their equipment just so she would have a different job. I was in Nashville shopping with my sister-in-law one day, and we went to a thrift shop, and we got to talking to the owner, and he had opened the thrift shop to give his daughter a job because she had autism. And when we walked out of the thrift store, my sister-in-law looked at me and said, "You're going to do this, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." At that time, I was director of radiology at a hospital, and it took me about 4 years, but God finally provided everything. And so I opened the store here in Oxford to give her a job and people who have mental illness job. And that's kind of the short of it.
Wow. What a really cool story. So thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
So for those that aren't familiar with Holding Hands, will you just tell us a little bit more about Holding Hands, what the mission of the store is, and you already gave us a little bit about how it came to be, and what does that look like now?
Well, now our mission is to employ people who are mentally ill and to help them to feel safe and secure, to provide them structure and security in their job. And we've helped many people. I haven't kept up with how many employees we have had. We've been in business for 7 years, but we take in donations of clothing, furniture, household items, and resell those. And in reselling those, we employ people. And of course, all the money stays right here in Lafayette County, and we hire people right here in Lafayette County.
Wow, that's neat. I imagine, as you talked about, you've had a lot of folks who've come through and that have been employed by the thrift store. And can you talk a little bit about your team and kind of the group that it takes to do this work day in and day out?
We We started out small, and we've tried to kind of stay small because it just takes a lot. It takes probably as many supervisory people as it does employees that we want to help. So I've always had a group though that worked well together and understood my mission and were passionate about the mission. And right now we have an excellent staff doing that. And we also have an excellent board right now. And I think that's probably been one of my biggest challenges is getting a working board. But that has finally, after 7 years, come to fruition, and they're doing a great job. We have several young men that work for us, and they work very hard. Everybody works just between 16 and 24 hours a week. We don't want them to work too much and be too stressed out. So we have to rotate shifts. And they're really good at doing what we ask. And they have been very upset through the pandemic that they couldn't come to work. And the structure and the security of the job is so important that they really needed that. So they have come back to work. We've been back. We opened back up May 4th.
Wow, that's great.
Well, you spoke a little bit about the background of it. Can you tell us, more about the specific task and kind of the inputs that go in with the operational needs of the organization?
Sure. We get donations of just about anything, any size, shape, form, and fashion. You would be surprised at some of the things we do get. The other day, we got a box of the Ole Miss We're Number One fingers. We got a case of those. So, it's always kind of like Christmas. You just never know what you're going to get when you open a box. But me or some of the support staff will bring the things in and go through them and sort to what we can keep and what we can't keep. And then our employees, we have different sections in the store, different departments, and they know what goes in what department, and they will usually take those and put them out after we've priced them. They're really good about putting things where they go and asking questions if they need help. And they're just that they work well with the people, and the people that come to the store, most of them know our mission, and so they're very kind to the employees, and we rarely have any problems of any sort because it's a very calm atmosphere most of the time.
Yeah.
But we do get a lot of donations and a lot of support from the community, and we appreciate that. And it is a big task going through each item, deciding whether to keep it or whether not to keep it. And then we have to price it and then put it in its proper place.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've been in the store a couple of times and I always find some good finds. It is shopping with a good cause. So Donna, can you tell us briefly, share some of the greatest challenges that you've experienced as a nonprofit, either during this particular season or just in general day-to-day work in quote normal times? What are some of your biggest needs and challenges?
Well, starting out, we just really struggled getting the word out. We didn't have much money to start with. I just started out, as I say, on a wing and a prayer, and God provided, but there were plenty of times when I went to bed on Thursday night and said, okay, God, I don't have payroll for in the morning, but it always seemed to show up. So I think that and was getting the word out and getting known was really difficult, but I think we've reached that now. We moved from West Oxford Loop over to North Lamar, and with that and with the pandemic, our business has just blossomed because where we are now, there was a thrift store of sorts here. So people were coming to this building anyway. So people that didn't know about us have begun to come here. And with the pandemic, people, and with the other two stores in town that take donations, they were closed to donations, and we weren't. I have worked every day since the pandemic started because we've taken in donations every day, even when we weren't open. So that was a challenge at first, getting the word out. And I guess establishing a board, a real working board, that has been really difficult. But as I said earlier, we have finally reached that and have a great board now that are very passionate about what we do and very willing to get in there and help.
Yeah, building boards, especially working boards, I'd imagine that's something that many of our nonprofit partners have been through. And but I also would imagine it's probably pretty rewarding for you now, 7 years down the road, to have been able to do that and get a good invested group that can support you. What are some of those types of rewards that you found through doing this work, Donna?
Well, just watching my daughter grow. She was 14 when she became ill, so her social skills are still kind of that of a teenager. And there was a time when if she wasn't getting paid, she was not going to work. I would try to get her to volunteer, and no, she was. But she worked with me through the whole pandemic.
Wow.
Well, she's 40 years old now, and but just seeing her grow and how much it's done for her, and not just her, but the other employees. I have one young man that came to me right out of high school and worked for me for about 3 years. And at the time he came to me, he couldn't count money. But after he left, he went to a store here in town and is managing a store here in town, assistant manager. So that's the rewarding part of it. Just seeing these people that would otherwise be sitting at home, being depressed, sleeping all the time, nothing to look forward to, seeing them come in and enjoy working and be at ease here, that's my reward.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Donna, you do so much for the community, and this organization does so much for the community. How can individuals, people in the community contribute to your organization? What are the needs that you could ask for now?
Really, right now, we probably need volunteers as much as anything. We're getting lots of donations, and I don't ever want that to stop. That's our bread and butter. But I'm also overwhelmed because I have had to lay people off, and it's put a lot of work on me and some of my support staff trying to keep up with everything. So, of course, we're always open for monetary donations as well as in-kind donations. But volunteering would be a great thing right now.
Well, we will certainly put the link in the comments for today's show and let people know how to connect with you. Is it best for them to go to the website or to call you or email?
Probably email.
Okay. Well, we will make that available in the comments. So feel free to check those after the show, and we will let you know how to get in touch. So Donna, we want to give you a platform to share whatever message you have to share to the citizens in our community. What would you most like to communicate to them in this moment?
I think the thing I would most like to tell people is to be kind, and you never know what the other person is walking through. And so be kind to everyone you come into contact with, and just make the most of it. Whatever, my employees, I teach them that, whatever happens, we'll get through it together, and we work together. And I think everyone needs to practice that.
What
Those
a
are good
wonderful,
words.
Yeah, what a wonderful message for everyone to hear right now in this moment, and really every day. The idea that you never know what somebody else is walking through is something that I think is important for us to keep in mind, and to meet people with grace and compassion on their path. And Don, I think you emblematize that, and you've really shown, I think, what that looks like in practice in the community and with all the people that you've helped. And we can't thank you enough for what you do in Lafayette, Oxford, and what you've been doing for years, and for being on the show today and for sharing your story. We're really grateful to you.
Well, thank you so much. God gave me this to do, and I've enjoyed doing it, and it's been a blessing to me. If I have just one more second, there's one thing else I would like to add, if that's okay.
Yes.
Not only do we have people, employ people and help people that way, we also partner with many organizations in town and give clothes or furniture or whatever to people in need. We help many, many people that way. And all you have to do is just come in and ask. Mm-hmm. And also we really work with Lena Wiley a lot, and provide clothing to a lot of people. And a lot of people that are below poverty level shop in our store and are able to get some really nice things because of our store. So our mission has really crossed over, and we've been able to help a lot of people that way.
Wow. What an amazing resource for people in the Lafayette Oxford University community. So if y'all have stuff that you think could be of benefit over at Helping Hands, take it on over there. Donna and her team can get it put into the inventory and can really make a difference in somebody's life. So we'll show you in the comment section how you can contribute, how you can volunteer. And once again, Donna, thank you for this incredible work in our community. You're truly an inspiration to us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And thanks to all of y'all who tuned in today. And just a reminder that on next Wednesday, June 3rd, we will have the one and only Kurt Brummett from the United Way of Oxford Lafayette on our show. Many of you all know Kurt. He is so deeply involved through his work with United Way and so many nonprofit organizations. So be sure to tune in on next Wednesday. You want to hear from Kurt. In the meantime, please like, comment, and share this live feed with your friends. This has been such a powerful interview that we've had today with Donna. So be sure that your friends and family are able to see this, particularly those folks in the LOU community. In the meantime, stay engaged, stay safe, and we'll see you next time on Community Chats.